My name is Ken Cromwell. I work in marketing and communications at Jersey Jack Pinball. I want to welcome you to a little bit of a Q&A tonight that we have with two gentlemen that have been instrumental and have changed the pinball industry. And first, I want to introduce a man who brought a new pinball company in 2010, innovated pinball, changed the industry forever. His name is Jersey Jack Guarnieri. Jack, come on in. Another gentleman that doesn't need an introduction, who continues to change pinball and the industry. The king of pinball, master of flow, Mr. Steve Ritchie. Welcome.
Down here, they got a speaker over here for me. Are you going to be down there?
So what we thought we would do tonight is something pretty basic and informal. We're going to ask a couple questions here, myself, to kind of get the conversation started. And then we'll come out to the everybody here. If you have a question and you want to raise a hand, I'll run the mic out to you. Just for safety concerns, I'm going to hold the mic to your mouth, so if you don't mind, we won't pass the mic around. But we're going to get everything started. Are you guys ready? Are you ready?
Yep. Before
Let's
we
get it
start
on.
a question, hello, is this on? Okay. So before we start a question, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, thank you to everybody that organized the show, Kim, Ed, Paul, the whole staff, all the volunteers. It's great to be in person again. Isn't it great to be back here? I think there was a little while that we all thought, or I thought at least, when are we ever going to have this show again? But I was lucky enough to award, as a presenter for the Twippies, 3 awards, I think, for this being the best show that they won awards. So it's really great to be here. Everything's really big in Texas, and it's so nice to see all of you in person. Thank goodness we're all together. Let's have fun. Yeah.
Okay, I'm as deaf as a fence post. You got that? I hear as good as a fence post. So I have no idea what he said.
No, you're good. You're
but
good.
I have a lot to say, damn it.
All right, we'll try to get this kicked off. But before we go ahead and get into the deep dive, I wanted to take a few minutes. For those of you that might not know, Jack and Steve have a past. They've known each other for a while. So if you guys don't mind, just take a minute or two and explain to us how this relationship started.
Okay.
And bring us up to speed as to where it is today, because Steve recently came over to join Jersey Jack Pinball.
And I'm old, aren't you?
And that's another interesting story that we'll cover. But Jack and Steve, talk about how this relationship began.
I think we met, this is my recollection, I think we met at an AMOA show in like maybe the early 80s. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It's about right.
Think so?
It's about right.
Yeah.
It's a while ago, a couple of years ago.
Anyway, we wanted to work together. We had a relationship during the time that I was at Stern and you were selling Stern games. And I really got to know him then, and he's like an incredible guy. I love him, that's it. And that's enough about that. And you talk.
Oh, Steve. So Steve is a very passionate person, as we all know. You could see it in all the games he made. When I was way back in the day, when I was an operator in Brooklyn, and I remember opening a Black Knight pinball machine. And I said, holy crap, what a game. And the cash box filled up. And then Flash came out, and then Getaway came out, and then more and more of Steve's games came out. And they were amazing, amazing games. And I never thought, look, I've said it before, I never had like a bucket list thing that I was going to start a pinball company. That was not something I ever planned to do. No less ever probably meet the guy that designed those games. No less have that guy work for a company that bears my name. It's a dream come true. I mean, it really is. Steve's just an amazing guy. He'll probably tell you a little bit tonight, I hope, about the game he's working on. Maybe. And we'll get going. But he's great. I love him. And if anybody's really smart, what they'll ask him is for his meatball recipe.
We are not doing meatball recipes. That'll happen later. That's on the way out. So what do you do, Jack? Right now at Jersey Jack Pinball, you've got Steve Ritchie, who shares a wall. In the next office, we have Pat Lawler.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you would have the two most iconic pinball designers of all time working for you at your pinball company?
No, and again, with Pat, all those games that we had on location in New York, all the great games, and then getting to know Pat, and then he was out of pinball for a long time, and it's just, all the stars lined up. Sometimes you do things and you go down a road. I like to go down a road, create a road where there was no road before. That's a lot more fun than driving on something that was already created. I think that's what we did since 2011, and I'm really proud of the team and all the people that work for the company.
There it is.
I'll take it.
Now, Steve, you're kind of the new kid on the block at Jersey Jack Pinball for the
Yep.
most part. Walk us through some of the changes that you're noticing migrating over to another pinball company with Jersey Jack.
I was in shock for a while. During the week between Stern and Jersey Jack, I drank a lot. It's freaking out. It's a big change, but I'll just say this. Jersey Jack Pinball is the best company I've ever worked for. I work for a lot. What I get is I get freedom, and I get, they're letting me do what I want to do, but I say I get to do what I need to do. That's it. What I need to do to make a fun pinball and have it, make it special. That's it. And I'll be able to do that. I am doing it right now. In fact, I just cut my first whitewood there on Thursday. So I'm excited. The name of the game, it's a great license. It's called The Beige Knight.
There it is.
You like that? Cool. He's a nice guy. He's a good man. He doesn't want to hurt anyone. The Beige Knight.
I thought it was My Little Pony.
That was last year.
Let's hear a call out. He wants to hear a call out from the beige.
Acker wants to hear a call
Hi,
out.
how you doing? Hi, how you doing? No, maybe that guy. Huh? I don't want to hurt anybody.
Play better.
So are the two of you in communication daily? I mean, how is that relationship now? You bring Steve aboard. I know you're a busy man. You've been busy. You cut a whitewood. How has that relationship progressed, or how do you maintain that relationship now that it's more than a friend on friend? It's company business.
So pretty much every day, Steve gets a text from me in the morning, early, right? And it says, "Good morning," in some way or other. Sometimes there's pictures accompanying it. Sometimes there's different emojis accompanying it. So we'll typically text each other every day, and we'll typically talk maybe 1 to 2 days a week. Usually on the weekends, or he'll call me at like 10 o'clock at night, my time, and he'll be talking for 2 hours till I'm ready to drool all over the phone until I want to go to
I don't
sleep.
really talk to anybody except you for that long. I used to talk to Lyman for that long.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about Lyman later,
Yeah,
too.
I'm going to talk about him a little bit.
I'm honored that you talked to me
back.
that long. I appreciate it.
It's kind of scary for me because I see these, Mark Mandeltort, Barry Osler, Lyman Sheets, all my friends. I'm wondering where my time is. I'm getting a little freaked out here. Cornat people, Anyway, Lyman was a good friend, and I just wanted to say that I'm going to dedicate my game to him. Here's Lyman.
You have any Lyman stories? Are you going to get to that? You got any stories about Lyman? Want to talk
Tell you a
about
story
Lyman?
about Lyman?
Yeah, I got one. I'll tell mine after you tell yours. If that's where we're going. I don't know where we're going.
I've got a question. Do either of you have a story about Lyman Sheets?
You want to tell a
No,
story?
you tell them. I'll tell one.
Lyman and I used to sit around and make fun of everyone else's game. But it was a party for us, really, a party. Did you see that piece of junk? Oh, I did. I saw it. Oh, my God. Anyway, that's one thing that we did, which is rude. We've done it ever since Williams. And I don't know. It's kind of fun to make fun of people's games as long as they don't really know that we're making fun of them. I don't want them to know. After you, sir.
So years ago, everybody knows that I had pinballsales.com and we sold, thousands of Stern pinball machines. One of my favorite games made by them was Spider-Man, which, we probably sold about 300 of the 500 black Spider-Man editions, and we probably sold another 700 or 800 of the red ones. So we sold a lot of games. And there was a time in the beginning where the code on the game wasn't done. Gee, what a surprise. So there were lights on the play field that didn't do anything. And before different social media existed, there was RGP. Anybody remember RGP? Okay. So people were getting up in arms and they were saying things like, hey, I want my money back for this game that's no good. Could you imagine that? Somebody would want their money back for a pinball machine. I just can't believe it. So, Lyman was very, he took everything to heart. He was really a great guy. I loved him. I still love him. He was a great guy. And he asked me one day, he said, would you sell me a Spider-Man game? I said, what do you mean would I sell you a Spider-Man game? He says, well, I want to take the game home and finish the code. Really? So I think I sold him the game for like $2,000. And the game at the time was $2,802, $2802.01, $2,802.01 if I prepaid the cash. Okay, so $2802.01. And why do I remember that number? Because I sold thousands of them. That's why I remember the number. So it wasn't a big deal. I took $800 out of my pocket, big deal, because it was going to benefit me if he finished the code. And he took that game home, and he made what he made. He made Steve's game be great. He made a good game into a great game. So Lyman really cared. He was a really good guy. It's a sad way that he passed. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned in that too. But God bless him wherever he is. And he made a big contribution to something that we love. So I appreciate him.
I say this with great respect. Lyman was not a team player. We were the team. Steve and Lyman, that's it. Or Lyman and John Borg, or whatever. If there was anybody else working on the code, unfortunately. Sometimes it would be perfect when he was done. And he was just, he just went crazy with the code. And if it wasn't ready when we wanted it to be ready, tough. That's sort of how he thought about it. And sometimes I told him, could you please just light up the light, throw a little feature on there. We'll finish it up later. I promise you can work on it. But he would get to it when he got to it. He had a system, and he was very methodical and stubborn and a great friend. That's enough about Lyman.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Nicely done. Steve and Jack, if you're open for it, we'll take a question or two from the audience, and we'll kind of go back and forth. We'll riff.
Fine.
Sound good? Anybody have a question for Steve or Jack? Sir?
Who's got a cell phone that rings like a pinball machine? Anybody?
Oh, Acker.
Acker Apple.
Nice to meet you guys. Loyalty is what I want to talk about. I'm very loyal to you. You could release a pinball machine with no pinballs, and that's fascinating. I want it. I work for a company in technology, and loyalty is so hard to find. You can often change jobs to make more money. I asked my boss, how do you maintain loyalty, bring loyalty? I said, do you hire your friends? And he said, there's no better way to lose your friends and family than then work with them and hire them. You've hired friends, and you've hired family. How's that gone, and how does that statement feel to you that you can lose people real fast by working with them?
Whose phone is that? You want me to get it? Okay, good. You know, that's true. I mean, nepotism is something that doesn't work in a lot of places. For me personally, I'm able to look. I've always been able to get a round peg in a round hole, or a square peg in a square hole. I'm able to figure out what people can do, and what I do is I don't give them the job that they're good for right now. I give them the job they're going to be over here. So I give them a job, if you think about it like hockey, which is not my favorite sport, but I'm going to give them the job where I'm going to shoot the puck, not right where they are right now, right? So having friends, having family, having customers. Look, I hired Matt Reisterer. I mean, he was a customer back in, long time ago. I hired Butch Peel, was in the audience at Texas Pinball Festival. There's a whole bunch of people like that in the company that they had a passion. They showed a passion for what they wanted to do. It wasn't just about, I want to make money, and which is important. It's important to pay people well, especially if they do well for the company. But you can't hire all your relatives either. You gotta be a little selective what's what. But it's worked so far, and people that you know a long time that have proven. Steve to me is not. What's he going to make? He's going to make probably one of the best games he ever made in his life, because I'm letting him do basically whatever he wants to do, what he hasn't been able to do in a long time. I took the handcuffs off him. That's why he's so happy. You could find his wife in here.
I am happy.
You could find his wife in here and ask her if he's happy.
She'll say no.
No.
Don't ask her anything.
Where's?
She'll say no.
She's back there. Diana.
All right, maybe she won't say no.
She won't say no, you silly.
Steve, coming to Jersey Jack, you're now working with Pat Lawler. You've worked at the same company with Pat in the past.
Yeah.
You're also working with arguably one of the hottest, youngest designers in the industry with Eric Minier. And now Jersey Jack brings over Mark Seiden, who's coming up, and he's a designer. Talk a little bit about the dynamic between a seasoned veteran, somebody that's now established, and a rookie, all working in the same office with you.
It's good. It's, well, there's two seasoned veterans, you gotta say.
All right.
And Pat, I get along fine with Pat, and we've both gotten a little older, and I don't know, people mellow out. I don't think we had any righteous arguments at any point, but he never really liked any of my games.
What'd you say?
Huh?
What did you just say?
He never really
I didn't
liked
hear
any
you.
of my
Now I
games.
can't hear. What?
He didn't like any of them. All right,
Oh, I don't
it's
think
okay.
that's true.
It's okay.
That's true.
He's like, we're getting along fine. It's great to work with Eric. He's very young, and he's hungry. He wants knowledge that's only passed down from people that have been in pinball for a long time. You can't get it anywhere else. There's no book, there's no manual, there's nothing. So I'm helping them as much as I can, and Eric's helping me. Eric is a bright kid, I'll tell you right now. He's a mechanical engineer and an electrical engineer. He's made a lot. I mean, I'm amazed at how he operates these tools. He's great with 3D printing, lots of stuff. So he's going to help me with that, and I'm going to help him with just some things that I know about pinball. All three of them, actually. Oh, that went. Okay.
What are those three things, Steven?
All right. Anyway, and working with Mark. Mark is a young designer. He's made one homemade homebrew game, and it's but he's like totally interested in everything that's going on. He is working with me. I'm teaching him everything that I know, basically, and but he's got plenty of his own ideas, and he's a character and a good guy. We've become friends, all of us. It's just a really nice arrangement and relationship, and I probably shouldn't say this, but.
All right, next question. This is the moderator job. No, go ahead.
Let's just say that I have a lot more freedom than my previous employer, and not just that, a much bigger bill of materials, and I'm freaking out and having a great time, and I think it's going to be an awesome machine. That's what I want to say.
We're going to take another question in a second, but Jack, question for you. With Jersey Jack Pinball now increasing production, multiple lines going, I think we're manufacturing games faster than we ever had. We've got more staff with more designers, engineers. We're going to be needing more licenses. What goes into the decision-making process when you're acquiring these licenses?
Well, I've been asked that a few times, and my standard answer is need a license that you can get assets for. Nobody wants to get a license and you can't use video, I can't license music, I can't get actors, I can't get all that stuff. I mean, there are some great licenses that I probably would never get because they're impossible to get assets for. I don't go after anything easy. I go after what I think is appealing to multi-generational and international players, and something that a designer could take and weave a story around, right? Because a lot of pinball is a story, right? It's good versus evil sometimes, and that's why a game like Wizard of Oz, to me, there was a story there that you're telling the story in the gameplay. I get people every week, some people in this room, I won't look at you exactly, but I get people say, why don't you make this game? Why don't you make that game? Why don't you make a game about paint drying on the wall or something? So what might be interesting to some people may not sell in Australia, it may not sell in Germany, it may not sell in Canada, United States. So we have to make things that hopefully everybody love and our distributors can sell and get behind. And I could tell you that for me, the next game that's coming out, JJP number 7, soon, it'll be soon. It'll be this year, it probably will be soon. Ish. I started working on that game several years ago. And really where I am right now, it's kind of funny to think about it. I'm in 2026 already and what I'm working on. So I don't get impatient. I think to start a pinball company, I had to have infinite patience for a lot of different things. But I definitely want to see 2 games come out a year from Jersey Jack Pinball. Last year, I can't blame COVID because when I started the company, I couldn't get parts and I couldn't get people to build games. And COVID came along and I couldn't get parts and I couldn't get people to build games. And after this is all over, whenever that is, it's going to be hard to get people and hard to get parts. So that's manufacturing in the world today. I mean, we could see
what could go wrong?
See what's going on, huh?
What could go wrong?
Yeah, like I always say, the most important part of the game is the part that we don't have. So licenses, if anybody's got ideas for licenses, you could let me know afterwards. But I could tell you that I get a lot of ideas. Yeah. You have an idea for license?
When he gets licenses, he gets everything. I didn't get Stairway to Heaven. He gets everything, and that's that's.
If I was doing that license, you would have got Stairway to Heaven full version.
I know.
Full length.
Talk is cheap.
Listen, it
I'm
costs
just
more money to
joking.
license songs that are full length than 10 or 15 seconds.
You would have. I know you would have.
Yeah, well, listen, everybody knows that if you're going to do something, you try to do the best you can do. You don't want to do it halfway, do you?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. With licensing, Wizard of Oz, Willy Wonka had a certain charm and theme and vibe to them. Recently with Guns N' Roses, a little more edgy. Appeals to some of the same audience, but some of not the same audience. With future licenses, do you have a direction in where you want to see the company go, or is it potluck?
No, it's not potluck. It's I want to be edgy and I want to be family. I want to go back and forth. I want to bring out more people that might never have bought a pinball machine or played a pinball machine because it's a certain license or something appeals about it, or a new designer at Jersey Jack Pinball with a proven track record is designing a game, and then people are curious about what Steve is doing.
I want action, blood, death.
We have a question for
I
Steve.
don't
or
really.
Jack.
I don't wish that on anyone, but it's fun to play games.
Jack, when you were selling games, the successful game was the one you sold most of. Now that you're building games, do you consider anything other than potential sales as to whether or not a game is successful?
Well, look, they go hand in hand because we don't want to make good games. I'm going to say the cliche answer from Jersey Jack. We want to make great games, right? So it's never a bad time to build a great game. People have doubted me and the company since before we started. And they said Wizard of Oz wasn't a good title. They said Hobbit wasn't good. They said Dialed In. They hated the name. Pirates was no good. It had 3 spinning discs. I'm canceling my order. I don't want a pirate game. Okay, Willy Wonka is this, and Guns N' Roses was done already. Guess what? We don't have any games in stock. And some of our distributors, I see them in the audience, they don't have any stock of any games. There's no stock of our games. You don't really see our games selling at a fraction of their sale price. You see them selling for more than what their sale price was. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's a thing. There's demand. Because right now in the market, there are a lot more people that want pinball machines than there are pinball machines, so they're there. But I think going back to your original question, I look at a theme, I look at a license, and I think of the market and the customer base that I know based on my 46 years in the industry. So I didn't just start doing this yesterday, right? And a lot of the customers, I know them for many, many years. And the new customers coming in, I get to know them too. I try to aim at what they're going to like, but sometimes what they don't even know they're going to like.
Do we have another question for?
You both have a very, very large in the industry. Do you find now dynamic with more?
Are you learning more or teaching more?
Say it again, please.
Are you learning more now with the new people in the business, or are you teaching more now?
Some of each. There's guys in this room that I've worked with, like Bill Grupp in the past. We got, some very incredible programmers, artists. I'm really happy to be working with John Yowsey again, and it's just, it's like old home week, kind of. I know most of the people there. I met some new people, and like this JT programmer. I think he's going to be something great, and Joe already is. Joe's awesome. So I'm learning from them. As far as building a pinball goes, and design and that sort of stuff, I'm going to help everybody I can. That's what I'm going to do. It's really nice there. I don't have any complaints. I just don't. Not about things like that, and not with people. It's fun.
I'll also add, since you've come in the building at Jersey Jack, there is a different energy in the building, and everybody appreciates that.
There definitely is a different energy. It's not so. What is it? I can't say it. I don't want to say it. It's just,
Don't say it.
It's night and day.
I'll call on.
Josh Roop with Loser Kid. I'm just wondering what the logic is behind doubling your designers with your production right now is about every 18 months. Are we hoping to see some more from you guys? Are you doubling down now? It's just getting 4 designers now with the time schedule. By the time we see the 4th designer, it could be 5 years from now at the current time rate.
Could be, but it won't. So look, what comes first, the cart or the horse, right? What's first, the chicken or the egg? If I don't have properties for designers to work on, I don't need to hire designers. And so if I don't need to hire designers, I don't need to hire mechanical engineers and artists and programmers and all that stuff. So there's a push-pull, right? The push is that we want to produce more, but we don't want to compromise by making games that are less fun, okay? It takes, Steve, what does it take, about 17 months to bake the cake?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know how long it takes at Jersey Jack.
Okay.
I know how long it takes at other places. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say, yeah, probably.
About a year and a half.
Yeah.
About a year. So it takes about a year and a half to 20 months to bake the cake. And, if you have 4 people or 5 people as designers, let's say, and you have the right teams working, I think we should be able to build 2 games a year. One maybe it's one every 9 months, something like that. It's certainly not one year and then you build 5,000 games and then like a year and a half later, 2 years later, you come out with another game. I mean, I don't think it's also fair. If we had orders for Guns N' Roses that we had, let's say it's 5,000 games, and we stop and we build something else, and you're waiting for that game, and then you introduce another game and you're waiting for the game, then you introduce another game and you're waiting for the game, then you introduce another game and you're waiting for the game, then you introduce another game and you're waiting for the game. Guess what? Somebody says to somebody, hey, don't introduce all those games. We can't even build what we're supposed to build. Everybody's getting mad at us. Why? What's the point of that? That's a good way to put yourself out of business. Piss off your customer base, So I don't think we did it perfectly. We did it the way we did it because that was the best way we could do it. We'll get better. It's a young company. It's only 11 years old. So it's a young company. We're still learning.
We have a question for
He's
you.
got a question. That guy there with that funny hat. Who is that?
I was told not to come over here.
I silenced my phone because I thought Kaneda was going to call me, but he showed up instead.
First, I want to say, before I ask, 2
Can't
questions.
hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 questions.
Can't touch the mic.
COVID. Before, I do want to give Jack a round of applause because I think your company is pushed pinball forward, and your games, it's the only game I own. So can we give Jack a round of applause?
What did you say? What did you say? You said I'm great.
Now, just 2 questions, Jack. We keep hearing 2 games in a year. Is that going to happen this year? And I asked Mirko earlier today about the playfield issues, and is there any thing you would like to say to owners of just if there are playfield issues, what they can do? That's it. Because he just told us I'm not going to respond.
Right. Well, it's already April, and I feel like it's possible that we could have 2 games this year. I feel that it's still possible. I'm not going to blame the supply chain and the events of what's going on in the world because I think that's just something that happens no matter what. So we'll have to see how it goes on there. That question, I think you need to get back to you around July or August, and I can let you know better if there'll be number 2. Because by July or August, you already saw Jersey Jack number 7 for sure. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I can't hear you.
We broke some news tonight. Somebody's going to have to fill Steve in. I told him the name of your game, Steve.
No, he didn't.
As far as anything that is in the game, whether it's playfields or other parts of the game, I don't like to see a problem with anything, really. Because, look, the game costs a lot of money, and we spent a lot of time and energy and effort designing it. And then we have vendors make parts for us because we don't make a lot of parts ourselves, really. And things happen. What happened? Usually the things that happen are not good things that happen. They're usually not good things that happen. And we have to deal with those things. With the playfields, in the past, I'll just hit this briefly, right? In the past, I gave playfields away. There were people that sent pictures, and I said, this is terrible, let's give them a playfield. We couldn't do a stuffed playfield because I probably put my company out of business. So we did a blank playfield. Not the best, but better than nothing. Then I find out as we're going through some games, I hate to say it, there are people that take advantage of me because kindness sometimes is mistaken for weakness. People sent us pictures of other people's games. They never had a problem. Some people did it with location. still on the picture. We could look at the meta tag and find out where the location was. The guy lives in Oshkosh, and the picture came from Canada. So he said, listen, this is not your game. How do you know that? Because I looked at the picture, meta tag. It's not even your phone. You use an Android, and this is an iPhone. Back and forth, and the guy admits, well, you know, I figured it's going to go bad anyway, and I might as well get a playfield from you. So I said, this time around, I said, you know, let's do this. Let's absorb some of the cost of the playfield and pass the playfield off to our customer at, you know, what we came up with, $4.99. Am I happy about it? Not exactly. I expect that the next game doesn't have these problems. That's what I expect. I expect the next game to just be beautiful right out of the box from game number one. That's what I expect. So that's to be continued.
Does anyone have a question for Steve Ritchie? Steve Ritchie question.
You're going to have to repeat this to me, please.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Steve, I have a pretty basic question. Obviously, with coming over to Jersey Jack, is the next game fast?
No, it's like a mud bog. The ball's gonna get stuck in this slimy stuff on the playfield. I'm gonna put whoops on it, okay, like a motocross track. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, it's fast. It's gonna be. I don't know how to make anything else. I don't want to make anything else because I don't know. I like to give players a chance to see what's coming on the playfield. I give you good visibility, but then it's going to be quick. It will be quick, but it'll be some nice opportunities. I don't really know. I know about 85% of the game will probably be pretty good. There's always 15% though that I have to fix afterwards, and that's kind of a shock for companies. Presidents will come in, and they'll say, "What did you do? You take everything but I start working on a whitewood, and once I build it up and it plays, I just start immediately ripping it apart and fixing it and making the next whitewood. I don't wait around, maybe a couple days. And that's another thing. It's like, if 3 people tell me something sucks on my game, I'm probably going to fix it. If only one person does, I'm probably going to fix it. It's one of those things. I like to do that because I think it's important to make a game as good as it can be, and most fun for a broad-based audience. I don't just make for great players. Often the software guys I work with develop rules that are pretty high-end, and that's fine. I don't mind that, but I'm sort of like a little better than average player, and it's like I want to be the defender of those guys, those ladies, those people who want to play pinball, on just a casual level and not have to bring your calculator and a computer to figure out what you're doing. And a lot of people have these brains that they can do that in their head. I think it's great, and I love to include high-end stuff in my game. It's just, I'm not going to produce that. I don't do that. I look for when can I get an extra ball because I need it right here. I'm a little better than average, like I say, but that's important to me. Also, a lot of the features and things are really important to me. The sound of the game is incredibly important to me. I'm going deaf, but in fact, I got a funny story. It's not funny, really, because it's happened to me. I went to get new hearing aids last Tuesday. The guy told me, okay, they're not going to feed back as much. Because when I go in the men's room, the walls are all hard, makes them feed back really quick. And then when I step between these panels, you can hear it all. Oh, that's Steve. I don't like that. Anyway, so new hearing aids are coming. I hope I can hear better with them. I don't know. Sound is important. The rules are important, of course, but I think it's really important that it looks great. And what I really love about working at Jersey Jack is I'm going to make lighting magic, and it's going to be awesome. Something that it's not available at any other company the way it is at Jersey Jack, and so I'm very much looking forward to that.
Steve, you have a lot of games in which you introduce pinball first. Is this something that you're striving to do within your next release or two? Are you looking to add new tech, new features?
Okay, I didn't hear all of that, Ken, I'm sorry.
Are you looking to add something new to pinball in any of your upcoming games?
Definitely. There's some cool new things, and I don't know, being happy at Jersey Jack has stimulated my imagination, no question, and we've got some cool things coming up for this game. New to pinball, new to me. I've seen it work, a couple things, but I have to perfect it, and that's it. And when I do, you know, it's got to work, and it's got to be fun. And that's the two rules. It has to work. And we're going to have to live test things, probably more than we do right now. And we're going to start doing that to a greater depth, because we need to do that. What else? I don't want to bore you.
Let me come over here.
Hey guys, thank you. Just a question. So, with the resurgence in pinball popularity over the last couple of years, you guys are seeing a lot of your machines being sold secondhand after the fact for thousands of dollars more than you guys offer them to begin with. So, two-part question. Are we going to see that trickle in to the next machines from a higher price point from you, seeing as the market will support it? And number two, is there any interest in doing more direct to the consumer sales, giving other people who are inherently fascinated by a theme the opportunity to own the top-end machines who are not on somebody's list?
Well, those are great questions. You know, price is dependent not on how much money we want to make, but cost of things and a profit, because we would like to stay in business, because we spend a lot of money on research and development. Steve, you know, he's great, but he doesn't work for free, and the rest of the people in the company don't work for free. So, you know, we're not opportunistic. You know, years ago we came out, I think it was Dialed In, where we made a standard game was like $6,000. We actually went down $1,000 from the model before because we were trying to promote the sale of it, especially to operators in that model. The other part of it, you know, it's really a rule of supply and demand, right? As I was saying before, you have great demand for pinball machines and not much of a supply. And you have people that, if a company comes out with a game, let's say it's not us. Let me take Jersey Jack off the table for a moment. I'll come back to it. People pile into pre-orders. You know, let me buy a pre-order. Let me put down $1,000. Let me be in the speculating market for pinball, and maybe I'll wait a few months and I'll be able to sell my spot and make $2,000. So you see people flipping pinball machines on Facebook and other places, and they're like, my daughter's going to college, needs braces, got to sell my game, $1,000, you know, and all these crazy things, you know. It's like, don't speculate on pinball machines. It's not a speculation type of thing. I would say this, I'm not upset that anybody does it, because I could say this, if you bought this pinball machine and you made $3,000 profit, that $3,000 is not going in your joint account with your wife or your significant other. That $3,000 stays in your pinball money. So now that you have this inflated extra $3,000, you don't feel as bad overpaying $3,000 for something else. Because, hey, honey, I bought this fishtails years ago for $2,500. I sold it for $8,000. I bought this other game for $8,000, and I flipped that for $11,000. So far I'm up like $9,000. Let me go buy some Bitcoin. I don't know what's next. I mean, it's kind of, you know, look, it's a thing. It can't be controlled. I would never try to control it. I'd never try to take advantage of it. Am I surprised by it? Honestly, no. I saw it years ago. I mean, if we go back, Wizard of Oz was $6,500. Then it went to $7,000, and it went to $7,500, depending on when you stayed in there. In 2011, there were no pinball machines that cost $6,500. And my only mistake was I should have sold it for $9,500, because It cost a fortune to make, and it took a long time to make. Today, you know, a few years ago in this room, I introduced the Yellow Brick Road Wizard of Oz game. It was over there, and Kaneda saw the bottom was yellow, and it was a banana with no monkey or whatever he called it, whatever. Okay. All right, you got me. 11.5. How much are they today? 15, 16, if you can get one. If you can get one. Without a monkey. Without the monkey. I don't want the monkey. I don't care about the monkey. I just want the game. You know, us pinball people, there is nobody in the universe like us. Nobody. Congratulations. Give yourself a hand. Nobody's like us. And you know what? Nobody understands us but us. Nobody knows. We love it. We want it. We want to play it. We want to enjoy it. We want to collect it. The money part, honestly, we learned something the last 3 years, especially. Life is too short. Life is too short. We all lost a lot of people. Enjoy it today. Have fun with it today. You know, we're doing something where I feel good about it. You know, I look at the war in Ukraine, and it's a terrible thing to look at these things on TV, the images and everything. I'm just thrilled to go play some of my pinball machines to take my mind off watching the news. You know, I can't do anything about it. I could donate some money to it. I can't go to Poland or anything to help anybody, but life is short. Enjoy it. You know, if you want to buy a pinball machine and that makes you happy and it doesn't bankrupt you, then buy a pinball machine. But we're not trying to be opportunistic with pricing or anything like that. We're trying to be sensitive. And we're trying to make a really great game at the same time. And really great things cost money.
Someone have a question? Here you go.
Did you hear that?
I can't hear anything. It's impossible.
It's for Steve. I have a Star Wars at home. I love and hate it. And since this question, the answer probably changes over time, what are 3 of your favorite machines that you've designed?
Did you hear that?
Oh, please, quiet. Be quiet. What did he say? What did he say?
What are your favorite 3 machines?
You mean of everybody's or mine or
yours.
mine?
Yeah. Well, one of them is the game you're working on right now, right?
No, I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I'm going to try and make it my favorite. I don't know. There are things that happened, like a great experience with Terminator 2, Judgment Day, where we met James Cameron for 3 hours. It was so cool, and he was like, the year before, he was sleeping in his car writing this movie, and Terminator 1 had come out, and it was the best B movie ever made. That was extraordinary, getting Arnold Schwarzenegger's speech, that kind of stuff, but I guess Next Generation was like the biggest culmination of getting every single one of the major stars of Star Trek: The Next Generation to speak in the game and to build stories that go back and forth. It was so much fun to make, and it was like, I don't know, I went crazy with feeding the cannons. There was always a ball waiting. It was kind of, I don't know, you have trouble keeping that working. But that's one of my favorites. I really like, I really enjoy playing Star Trek from Stern, 2013. It's just a fun game. So many people did great work on that. It's a young guy, his name was Ben. He wrote the whole Klingon battle scene and ran my laser, and that was incredible. I have fun playing that game. I have fun playing Black Knight, Sword of Rage, and doing the speech. I'm going to do some of that now. One of them really hurts. Rage! I have that in me, this rage. I do. I'm going to take it out on him right after we're done here. No, I don't. I'm not going to. I don't know. I like that game. I like playing it. I have one, and I have the topper, and it's like playing it at night I scare myself. I just do. I hate it when it says, "Run home to mother, maggot." That's disgusting. That's a terrible thing to say to somebody who buys your game, you know what I mean? But you guys are suckers. You eat it up. You love it. I won't be doing that in this game, though. This game is a different thing, just a totally different thing, and I'm really looking forward to getting it all put together. I want everything, so get me everything. Thank you. All right.
Your wish is my command.
What's that?
Your wish is my command.
All right, cool. I don't know. I like a lot of people's games, okay? From Jim Patla, I like, what's the name of it? The German Lady Spy.
Matahari.
Yeah, Matahari. I mean, I love the artwork. The play is simple, but it's kind of cool. From Pat Lawler, Addams Family, definitely. I like Dennis Nordman's Whitewater. My brother, Indiana Jones, Fishtails, both great games and fun to play. And he's in here somewhere. I don't know where he is, but maybe he left. I think he left town.
Where's your brother? Is he here?
He's not there. Anyway, from Barry Osler, Pinball. It's a good game, a really good game. I enjoy playing Attack from Mars. That's a piece of work, too. So much fun. I can't think of other designers right now. Well, from Jack Danger, I really like the Jurassic Park. The Jurassic Park game. There he is.
Jackson Wild.
It's the best pin so far. Don't! You can't! You're from Stern.
We'll take the love, it's
Have an
fine.
affair.
It's okay.
Anyway,
You can crush the stream, it's fine.
that's all the designers I can think of. I'm probably leaving out somebody very important. Who?
Who?
Greg Kamick.
Okay.
Greg Kamick influenced me greatly with Captain Fantastic. That upper right flipper, even though it wasn't where I wanted to put it, it did influence me, and so did the, I don't know, I liked the whole game, how it played and how it looked and what it looked like it was lit up with Dave Christensen artwork, hard to beat, and that's all I'm gonna bring up.
I know, the time goes by fast here when you're having a good time. Now, Steve and Jack,
We'll take a couple more.
Uh,
I don't think there's anybody.
is there anyone behind us?
Can I just say one more thing?
Please,
It
say
is
two
so
things.
good to see everybody in the pinball community together again, right here. I love this show, and it's awesome to be free of masks. I hate masks. I'm tired of rebreathing carbon dioxide.
Who's got a question? I'll come back to you, I promise. Everybody, this way? Yeah.
Any plans for a Grateful Dead pinball? Grateful Dead is one of the best bands in the world. Grateful Dead, please.
You know how many times Rush
Need to
called
tell
me?
that guy to wait in the truck.
We got. Anybody in back?
Jonathan,
Where is
you
he?
have a question? Wait, microphone's on its way. Hey, you scallywag.
Want to come that way?
One day I hope so. One day I hope so. Huh? Never say never, you know that, right?
That was actually the question I wanted to ask.
What is the question? I can't hear you, microphone's not on.
I was going to ask, can we expect any remakes of earlier Jersey Jack games?
This year, I don't know this year. That's a big ask this year.
Okay.
Maybe at some point in the future. I wouldn't say no.
Okay.
It's possible. Possible. Why not? Why not? It's the same, Steve. Doing a wide body in a regular game, right, Steve? A wide body or a regular game?
What do you ask me? The difference?
I know the difference.
What is the difference between a chicken?
No, I mean, there's a little bit of a different cost, and then you have to go up on that mountaintop and get the wide body wood tree and all that.
Wide bodies take up too much room and they're too heavy.
Yeah.
Wide bodies are hard to make and create good shots with big power. On the outside edges, there's just less.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm not in favor of them anymore. I've made probably more than anyone, and it's like.
You made Superman, didn't you?
Made Superman. I did. I made Airborne
Superman.
Avenger.
A man that made Airborne Avenger.
Yeah, and then I made what?
How wide was that game?
Say it again.
How wide was that game?
Too wide. They're
Too
all
wide.
too wide, all of them. I don't know, it's like.
Who designed Hercules? Did you design Hercules?
I can't understand you.
Did you design Hercules?
No. No, that was designed by Ronnie Halliburton of, he worked with Al down in Florida. What's his name last name?
Al Kress.
Yeah, Al Kress.
Okay, all right.
And he designed it and sold it to Bell. He called it Bigfoot, and then
Bigfoot.
they sold it to Atari after that. I had nothing to do with it except for crawling inside underneath and fixing it.
Will we see one of your games be as big as Hercules from Jersey Jack?
Say it.
We see one of your games be as big as Hercules from Jersey Jack.
Never.
Thank you.
You ready? We got one over here.
Steve, so all the years, all the designers say we have to cut this out to meet the bill of goods. We're limited. We can't put everything we want in it. Is there a possibility of doing a fourth level? We've got the basic 3 levels now. Is there like a director's cut that you can do for everything you want to put in a game to have in the game?
I don't see why not. I'm never going to say to myself, oh, I just ran out of ideas. It's not going to happen. I'm lucky. I'm crazy. But when I was a kid, they said I was going to be a mad scientist in a toy factory. And that's what I am. Exactly. I didn't hear his whole question, though. What did he say?
You answered it.
Put
You
in
answered it
everything.
perfectly.
You said about putting in everything in one game.
Well, he's trying to say, are we going to make another model even higher with everything
Oh, another
you could possibly
model.
imagine?
Another model.
going
I think we
into
should
it?
try to make the $25,000 pinball machine. Hey, Eugene Jarvis and I and my brother used to joke about a $10,000 pinball machine in the 80s. Guess what?
One or two more.
Anything's possible.
All right, I think we're going to wrap this one up,
The
actually.
guy over there with the hat, the cowboy hat. Who's that guy? Who's Jeff Bridges? Next, one more question, last question. All right, Charlie Martin from the Seattle Pinball Museum, Seattle, United States. Yes, sir, Charlie.
Yeah, this is for Steve. Yeah, you could send Jack out at midnight tonight and say, I have to have this title. What would that title be?
I already gave it to him. He knows exactly what I'm talking about right now. The one I want. And I'm not going to say it because I can't.
If we said it, we'd have to.
Yeah, I'm hoping he'll get it. That's all I can say. I like the one
We
I'm working on.
have, Charlie, as you like to say, we have top men working on it. And women. Don't forget the women. We have top men and women working on it. Okay, is that it? Gotta wrap it up.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up for the third time. I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank Steve Ritchie, Jack Guarnieri, Jersey Jack Pinball. Thanks for coming out, Texas Pinball Festival. They'll be here all the week. Whatever you do, don't forget to take some time out of your day and play some pinball. So long, everybody.